Spurs around 8:30. Your Choice TV. Your Choice TV. Talking Spurs until 9:30. Wake up with Spurs. Wake up with Spurs. Your Choice TV. Your Choice TV. Your Choice TV. Your Choice TV.
Yes, guys, good morning. How you all doing? Happy Monday. The weekend is over. Boo. I literally did nothing all weekend. It was apart from a couple of little jobs, I did absolutely nothing. Pretty much sat in my room for most of the weekend watching YouTube. That is how I roll. I hope everyone had a good weekend though. Got out in the sun today. It is cloudy, dull, and extremely cool, and I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. Don't get me wrong, I do like the heat. I do like a bit of warmth, but it's been a bit too much for me this summer. I am looking forward to the autumn. How you all doing, guys? I hope you're well. It's Monday morning, and Spurs still haven't got any forwards in. We are 5 days away from the Premier League season opener against Brentford, and I'm concerned. I've got to be honest. Listen, I've been quite cool about this, and it's fine. It's fine. We'll get the players in, but a week to go. The players that are injured don't seem to be getting any minutes in the friendly. Maddison, got some minutes yesterday, but he looked well off it. Doesn't look anywhere near fit enough to start the season, so I don't see him starting probably maybe for the first 3 or 4 weeks. Kudus, who we thought would be back, still hasn't played a minute. What's going on? Obviously, Kulu's out. Van der Ven, where's he? We've not seen him. It's a real concern, isn't it? It really is a concern. And the players, what we have, listen, I'm not going to bash it too much because I think we will do okay this season. Under De Zerbi, playing his style of football, I think we're going to see a different style of football, a more exciting style of football. I'm just not sure we've got the players in those top areas to score enough goals to win us in enough games, if that makes sense. But I am excited to see the likes of Fernandes and Tonali in that midfield. I am excited to see Van Heck and Van der Ven partnership when he's fit, but also liking the look of Senesi as well. So there are things to look forward to. And hearing last night that Vicario is finally on the move. Looks like he is finally going. This move to Juve that's been mooted all summer. It looks like it's finally happening. And hopefully we will get him out of the club. Nothing against Vicario. He's done okay for Spurs, but he's one that needed to leave, right? And he is on his way. Also, it looks like Bergvall still could leave. Newcastle about to put in a bid for him. Forest still sniffing around. So I wouldn't rule out a Bergvall move before the end of the window. Sarr is attracting interest from different Premier League clubs. So we'll see what happens with that one. So still players to leave, and hopefully players to come in. Obviously, Savinho not in the Man City squad yesterday. We all put 2 and 2 together and come up with 700. But hopefully he is this week on the move to Spurs. We need something in those forward areas for Brentford. We cannot go into Brentford with Mikey Mortel and Richarlison as our front three. It just won't happen. If it does, we lose, right? Because we're not gonna create. Well, we might create chances. We're not going to take them. So for me, we have to improve that front three area this week, and hopefully we will. Gakpo scored yesterday, assisted yesterday. Doesn't look like that's any closer because he played. We will see what happens, guys. Let's say hello to the chat. Guys, as you come in, please do me a favor. Please hit that like button. It is so important to get up to 50 likes as soon as possible. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button as well. Really would appreciate it. Scott's the first one in. Says, morning, nice. Big up, everyone in the chat. Only 6 more days till kickoff. 6 more days, not 5. I'm rubbish at maths. 6 days till kickoff. Absolutely. And listen, we need reinforcements, right? Lovely cup of tea. We need reinforcements before Saturday evening's game, 100%. And of course, if Savinio does come in, I'm hearing that he might need to renew his work permit. So if we don't get it done till midweek, there's a good chance he won't be available for Saturday anyway. So if it's going to be done, I think it's got to be done within the next 24 to 48 hours. This is why I think Spurs may move quickly today. We may see some movement today, guys. I am literally clutching, but I'm just thinking if he needs a work permit, which Tonali did, then he's going to have to we're going to have to get our skates on and sign him if we want him before Saturday's game. But big up you, Scott. Kate's in. Nice. Good morning. Hope you're well. Where's the bomber? Jackson and Watkins are not bombers. Heard they are not replacing Spence either. We still got injuries. Can't guarantee when they will be fit. No, no, it's not looking good all round, is it? I mean, for me, I'm at the point where Jackson, I don't want him. I don't want him. But is he any worse than what we have? No, I don't think so. Watkins is a weird one. Watkins is one I would take, actually, just for a couple of years. He's a player that plays a deserving way, good at pressing, likes to run the channels, and gets in the box. And for me, Watkins, again, wouldn't be my first choice. But I'm at that point now where if he's available and if I'm hearing he's been offered to Spurs, I'd take a gamble. Personally, he's proven as well. A bit of a streaky striker though, yeah. He can go months without scoring, and then suddenly he scores 7 or 8 in 3 or 4 games. But listen, for me, I would take a Watkins. Wouldn't be my first choice. But guys, let me know in the chat. Would you take Watkins at Tottenham? Big up UK. I hope you are well. Pete says, big up Nige, mate. We'll have a watch later. It's out this morning. Big up to you, mate. No worries. Have a good one. He also says, big up to Kate too. Scott Collar is in. Big up, Scotty. Says, hello, Nigel chat. We desperately need attacking players, and it's not happening. We'll be very disappointed if we start the season with only Richarlison and Tell. Me too, mate. Me too. As much as I've been calm, I am starting now to panic because we are only a week away. We need players. We need players quickly. And, the players are leaving now, which is great. But we need players in desperately in those forward areas. And we will see what happens. I've still got a feeling we're going to pull something out of the bag from somewhere. Whether that's hopium, probably. But I'm just still hopeful. But there's a good chance. Savinio, I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen within the next 48 hours. If we want him before the Brentford game. Of course, if we don't, then it could happen next week. Who knows? But we will see. Jimmy's in. Big up, Nige, and the chat. Good morning. Big up to you, Jimmy. I hope you are well. And yeah, give me your team for the weekend, Jimmy. I know you like to do it. Give me a team for the weekend, with or without possible sign-ins. The Long Wolf's in. Big up, Mia. Says big up, Nige, and the chat. Big up to you, Mia. I hope you're well, guys. If you haven't, get over to Mia at Tottenham's Lone Wolf and give a subscribe, please. I'm sure she's on later as well. With smaller channels, we've all got to support each other. It is so important. And big up to Corey as well. Korski's in. Oh no, Corey's 3RR. Easy, mate. Hope you're well. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to you, buddy. I hope you're well. You're the guy with the Football Manager channel, yeah? I do watch that sometimes. Good stuff. Yeah, it is good. I do like a bit of Football Manager, though I get bored quickly. I get bored quickly, especially the preseason. I just want to get into it and get winning games. Rabbit Man's in, saying big up Nigel in the chat. Still no attackers. No, we haven't. It's rubbish, isn't it? Absolute rubbish. But we still have time. We still have time, guys. I am ever hopeful that we will get these players in. Guys, if you haven't, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well too. I really would appreciate it. Steve's in. Big up, Steve. Says, good morning, Nige. Did you see Vicario watching the Hoffenheim game on his own, away from the rest of the squad on Saturday? I did, but I've also seen pictures of him sat there and Udogi and a couple of others around him. So maybe that little bit of footage was taken when they were getting drinks or doing whatever. But I don't think he was totally on his own. But I do get you. I did see that, and I thought, oh, Wow, he's on his own. Has he been alienated? But I think other injured players were there, but not at the time they showed that. But big up to you, Steve. I hope you're well. And Vicario looks like he is going to leave today, which is great, isn't it? I mean, this is a player that could never be here anymore. You know, he had to go before the start of the season. And finally, it looks like that's happening, which is great news. Is great news for Tottenham. And I'm hearing it's a loan. I'm reading some um, places is a loan with an obligation. Reading others is a loan with an option, but around 15 million euros. Not a lot of money, but Spurs getting rid of players that are no longer needed, and that is exactly what we need. James in, send morning, Nige, and all in the chat. I hope everyone is well and enjoying the cooler weather today. Big up to you, Jane. If you got your aircon on, I guess you don't need it now, right? It is a beautiful, cool day. In fact, I'm looking out the window and we have rain. We have rain. It is, I mean, I can't believe I'm smiling that we've got rain, but it is raining out. It's looking quite wet. In fact, it's been raining for a while by the looks of it, which is lovely. But it also does mean the next week I'm going to have to cut the grass because it grows so quickly once it rains, of course. Rabbit Man says, after waiting for Savinho for over a year, I don't want him. It's like chasing a bird and always getting rejected. And then you have, yeah, it is. I totally and utterly agree. It is. It's like chasing that girl for a year. You really like her. You really like her. And then you're just like, oh, I'm not that fast. I give up. And then she asks you out, and you're like, oh, brilliant. You end up going out with her, and then after a couple of weeks, you realise, God, I can't believe I chased you for a year. Um, but it is what it is. We've all been there, I'm sure. Adam's in. Big up, Adam. Says, morning, Nige. Hope you're well. I'm good, mate. I hope you are too. And Calvin's in as well. Said, morning, mate. How long do we have to wait? Because time is against us with no backup plans. This is it. How long do we have to wait? Surely we need an answer this week, right? We cannot be going into the last week of the window waiting on two players. That might not happen. I'm hearing Doku got injured yesterday. I'm not sure how serious the injury was. I haven't paid a lot of attention. Just heard it in the grapevine that Doku got injured. So let's hope that doesn't affect things. Yeah, listen, we need players and need players quickly. Big up to you, Calva. Hope you're well, mate. And Marianne's in saying good morning, Nigel, and all in the chat. Hope all are well. Good morning to you, Marianne. I hope you're good too. And Andrew's in as well. Saying morning, Nigel. Good morning to you, Andrew. I hope you're well, buddy. Lee Statham TV's in. Saying hello, everyone. Big up to you, mate. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button for Lee over at Lee Statham TV. Lee's going to have a good season, I feel, this year. Seen a few channels that saying they might get fifth. I think that's a bit too far, but I do think they might finish mid-table. I think Leeds are going to do well. And Lee says, everyone hit the like button and the subscribe button. Absolutely, really would appreciate it. The Spurs syndrome is in. Saying Doku and Marmoush both picked up knocks yesterday. Does this delay the Savinho deal? I hope not, mate. I hope not. And I was hoping we might go in for Marmoush as well. So, listen, I don't think so. I'm hoping they're not serious knocks, but we will see, guys. If you haven't get over the Spurs syndrome, give him a sub. A growing little channel. He's going to do great things. I got a feeling, Dave. I really do. So get over to him and smash a subscribe for him. Jane says, good morning to Lee. Kate saying good morning to Lee as well. And Steve says, apparently Everton are interested in the sign at Richie. Apparently Spurs value him at 40 million. Everton value him at 15 to 20. Yeah, crazy money. Crazy money. This is a striker. Listen, I get it. He's a striker, top end of the pitch. Goals win you games, right? And as much as we want to moan about him, he did score 12 Premier League goals last season. And again, as much as we want to moan about him, for me, he's not a scorer of a lot of goals, but he's a scorer of important goals. He does score against big teams. So, listen, for me, Richarlison's got to go. But to ask 40 million, I think it's crazy. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think 20 million for a guy who's got a year left on his contract, who let's be honest, we don't really want. I think would be a good price, but it is what it is. We will see what happens towards the end of the window. One thing's for sure, we need players in that front area. And if it means getting rid of Richarlison, then I'm all for it. Rabbit Man says, oh, look, we don't get Gakpo and he becomes Liverpool's highest scorer for the season. Yeah, that would be typical, wouldn't it? That would be typical. Jimmy says it's 5 more days. I thought it was 5. I thought it was 5. I was doubting my own maths then for a minute. But yeah, we go with 5. I've never included the day we're on, so for me it's 5 days. Marianne says, Kate, good morning. Good morning to Kate. Liston's in. Big up Liston. Say, are Paul really gonna let go of Gakpo? 1 goal and 1 assist yesterday in a 2-0 win. He didn't look very happy when he scored though. Is that a sign? Clutching at straws here. Yeah, he didn't really celebrate, did he? But is that because it was a friendly? I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, he has um agreed a move. So let's see. I've just got a message. Let's read this. Let's read this. We have got the here we go on Juve who are signing Vicario. So that's great news. Big up to Mr. Daigle. Thank you very much for sending me that, buddy. So Vicario, here we go. It is official. We've had some breaking news on Wake Up with Pure Coys or Wake Up with Spurs, whatever it's called. So Vicario off, guys. What do we make of it? He is going, and that is official. He is off. When Romano speaks, it usually happens, right? Unless it's Morgan Gibbs White, of course. Andrew said Brentford looked very good, beating Frankfurt 7-0. We don't look ready. Yeah, Brentford looked very good, didn't they? And this is my concern with Spurs more than anything. I think we look so undercooked is unreal. I think we look incredibly undercooked, but we will see, guys. It's a worry. It's a worry. Grant says Watkins is 30 though, on his way out. Reason why Villa want to sell him and offer him out. Rather take a punt on someone younger. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. For me, Watkins would be a stopgap. Someone, if there was no one available this year, get Watkins in for a season. And then if we need to replace again next season, we replace. But listen, it is horses for courses. I'd prefer someone younger. I'm just not sure who's out there. But I'm sure we will bring someone in. I hope we will bring someone in. Jimmy says Madison can't start on Saturday. He was very rusty yesterday after so long out. He was. Even the goal we scored. I think it was the first goal we scored. He looked just the way he was moving when he was passing the ball around. He just looked incredibly rusty and not at the pace we need at all. So we will see. I don't see him starting at the weekend. I don't see him starting for a couple of weeks. Maybe after the international break is when we might see Madison hopefully start if he can remain fit. But we will see. Adam says, yes, we'll take Watkins better than what we've got. Absolutely. I think he is. I get his age thing, but for me, listen, for a year, for 2 years, I think he is a good option. Kate says, I'm getting fed up with Savinio saga. We need attackers in. I'm worried Gakpo not coming either. I think it's a typical Spurs thing, isn't it? We as fans, when things drag on, we get worried, we get concerned. Is this ever going to happen? And listen, something's got to give, right? Because we have now a week before the season, or less than a week before the season starts. And we have, 15 days before the transfer window shuts. So a lot to do for Tottenham. And we need to get our ass in gear. Hurry up. And if they're not going to come, we need to move to other options as quickly as possible. Liston said Brentford had an XG of 2.8. The Frankfurt keeper had a stinker, letting in 7 goals. Yeah, listen, we will see what happens at the weekend. I'm trying not to take too much notice of pre-season results because, listen, I've seen Spurs have a fantastic pre-season, smashing Roma and then getting 2 points from our first 8 games. So it is what it is. We will see what happens. I've got to stop saying it is what it is. Just can't help it. Rabbit Man says Solomon scored on debut. Yes, he did. So we had Solomon scoring on debut for West Ham. We had Lancashire hitting 2 for Middlesbrough. The fan base in meltdown. Why do we sell Lancashire? Listen, I think good for Lancashire. Good for him. Going out, bagging a brace on your debut and effectively got the winner, didn't he? And great news for him. Let's hope he has a really good season. I hope he smashes it at Middlesbrough. The Stoic is in, so knowing our luck after that, the way City performed yesterday, they decide they need Savinio after all. There is a chance of that, mate. But you would think Savinio's handing in a request. He wants to leave. You would think he would just be like, you know what, I want to leave. I think it's still going to happen. I think it's still going to happen. Like I said, I think maybe over the next couple of days. Lewis is in saying, hola, come hasta, like, subscribe. Thank you, mate. That was rubbish. My Spanish is the worst. Because I've never spoke it before. But big up to you, Luez. Really appreciate you being in here. Rabbit Man says, is Vic going on loan? As far as I'm aware, it's a loan with an obligation, but I will check it again quickly. I'm going to read what it says. I'm going to read what it says to you guys. Juventus agreed deal to sign Vicario from Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs accept loan proposal with buy option clause, not mandatory. Vicario wanted to move and leaves Tottenham today. Fantastic news, but not good news. It is a low, a buy option. We would have wanted him gone, but listen, it's kicking the can down the road for a year, isn't it? He's out of the way, and for me, listen, it is what it is. Let's see what happens. He might play a blinder for Juve. Listen, he's a good keeper, right? And I think he'd do well at Juve, and Juve will probably want to sign him at the end of it, as long as Spurs don't say, yeah, well, okay, we'll have 30 million. Keep the price it is. If it's 15 million euros, just take it next season. It is what it is. Coys says, morning, Nigel. Keep up the good work. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much, buddy. And you guys, if you haven't, get over to Coys K3RR1 and subscribe to his channel. He does a lot of football management stuff, and yeah, it's a good watch. It's a good watch. So if you haven't, get over, subscribe to him. Jamie's in saying good soaking nice. We needed the rain. We did, and it is nice to see a bit of rain. And it's nice. It is a lot cooler today. Jimmy says, as it stands with injuries, Kinski, Borrow, Van Heck, Senesi, Robertson, Tonali, Fernandez, Gallagher, Tao with Charlison, Mikey Moore. And, I look at that side, and as you're going through it, it's pretty strong. And then we get to that forward area, and it's like, oh, bloody hell. We have what we have, though, right? We can only go with what we have. And if that's all we got, we will see how we do. Let's see. Carl's in, saying, morning, Nigel, and the chat. Good morning to you, Carl. I hope you're well. And SH Spurs, big up to you, buddy. Says, one thing I'm happy about is that it looks like we got a stronger bench this season. Our bench has been far too weak for years. This is true. We have got a stronger bench. And if we can get those extra couple of players in, those 2 or 3 players in, our bench will look really strong next season. And this is what we're being told, right? Fabrizio has come out and said we want 2 wingers and another forward. So we will see. We will see. Hopefully we can get 3 more players in. That would be absolutely fantastic. Grant says, I'm more like a Real Madrid, mate. They chase and want to sign with me. Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. I'm like Accrington Stanley. But it is what it is. Aussie Ange is in. Saying good morning on this glorious day, your lordship. Brentford smashed Frankfurt 7-0 recently and looks superb. However, we must show up without fear as we can get to the pinnacle of English football. And he follows it up. Aussie Ange, ever positive. We can win the championship. We have top players and a top manager, and we will finish it off with we have the cream of the crop. People will remember in 2027, we was the champions of England. Mate, always love your positivity. Always love your positivity. Think maybe you're on something this morning, but I like it anyway. Listen, it is what it is. We will see how we do. All I would say is I don't think any of those are going to happen if we don't have the strikers and the forwards to score the goals. But let's see what we can do. We do have Mikey Moore. Don't forget that. SH Spurs says, I don't like Real Madrid, the club with no heart and soul. No, I get it. Listen, I don't like a lot of these big clubs, these elite clubs, really. And there's an interesting conversation talking about are Tottenham a big club? Are Tottenham, the elite? They're not. We're not the elite. Yeah, you got the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Uniteds, the Liverpools. They're elite. Tottenham, but we are a big club. We are a big club, I think. We just haven't won enough trophies in recent years. George says, big up, nice Mikey Moore. What can I say? Not jumping the gun, but no wonder he's not going out on loan. He might be a late addition to my fantasy team. I'd hold off there a little bit, George. I'd hold off there a little bit personally. But we will see. Listen, for me, Mikey Moore, if he's going to play, he needs to play on the left. I know he scored twice from the right, but if we're going to keep him in the squad, we can't just be chucking him out on the right wing. He's admitted He's just not. He doesn't enjoy it out on the right. So for me, I still think he goes out on loan. I think a loan, one more year on loan, I think we'll do him really good. And let's see how he does when he goes out on loan. But listen, impressive goals at the weekend. Took them both really well, and I love a bit of Mikey Moore, homegrown talent. We love it. Aussie Anne says like and to subscribe to the channel and make sure you tune into this channel. Each show as long as possible. Watch time matters, people. It really does. It really does. Even if you're not really watching, just keep me on in the background. I try and keep the noise down. It's fine. But yeah, if you could watch as long as possible and hit that like button, it is so important. And of course, subscribe if you haven't. S8 Spurs says, I really don't like Real Madrid. I think I just read that, but it's all good. Brian Daigle says, Vicario, here we go. Big up, Brian. Royalty in the house. Yeah, great news. Great news that Vicario is finally leaving. We just need a few here we goes of players coming in, don't we? And listen, I'm excited. I am excited. I've got to look forward to the season. I'm a lot like Brian, you know, he's done a lot of work on this board, and you know it's been a lot of years. Finally, he just wants to enjoy the football, and this is where I am. Not so much with the board because I've not been that intense with it, but I just want to enjoy the football. I don't want to be negative for negative sake. At the moment, the only thing there's to be negative about is we've not got the strikers in, but I do believe we will get players in. So I'm going to be positive. There'll be plenty of time during the season, I'm sure, that we can have a moan and a rant. But right now, got to stay positive as possible. You know, it is what it is. SH Spurs says Watkins is yesterday, man. He can't get a game at Villa. He would be a panic buy. I think this is where we could be, though, right? In another week's time, we could be, especially if Savinho doesn't happen, especially if Gakpo doesn't happen. We could be at a point where we need somebody in. And I actually think if we bought a Gakpo, a Savinho, and a Watkins, I don't think that would be too bad, personally. But then, guys, let me know what you think in the chat. If we get Savinho and Gakpo, would you take a Watkins for a season, for 2 seasons? George says, how much is the transfer fee? Who is this for? Is this for Vicario? Vicario's, I think it's 15 million euros if they want to buy him, but I'm not sure. Brian say loan with an option to buy. Yeah, absolutely. Grant says, to be fair, people overthink the friendly results. I get 7-0. It's impressive, but City looked good in pre-season and they just got battered by Arsenal. And let's be honest, Arsenal didn't look that great in pre-season, did they? They struggled a bit, you know. Won a game on a penalty shootout that they lost. Isn't that typically Arsenal? But yeah, listen, it is what it is. Pre-season's pre-season. I don't think we can take too much notice of it. I'm sure once the games start, once we get into it, we will really see what kind of Tottenham we are going to see. And I'm listen, as much as we've not got the strikers, I'm excited. I'm excited what De Zerbi's going to bring to Tottenham. I think we're going to be happy. I think we're in for a good season with Spurs. A great season, not sure, but a good season for sure. The Stoic says Vicario is moving to Juve from Tottenham Hotspur on an initial loan deal, containing a non-mandatory buy option. Yep. I think Spurs were just looking desperate, and this is typically a desperate sell, right? Because Spurs looking to sell him. We want the money. If not, we'd love an obligation, but it's got to the point where we just need him out of the club. His wages are off the books, I take it. So listen, it is what it is. I think Spurs are going to move fast in the window now, guys. These next couple of days, watch out for some bombers. Whether they're big bombers or not, I'm not sure, but watch out for some big moves from Spurs. George is saying thanks to Brian. Futures Bright's in. Saying morning, pal. Good morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. And he says good morning to the chat as well. Marianne saying good morning to Brian. Always good to have Brian in here. Kate says, nice. Worried about the Brentford game. They scored 7. Look at our goal and look at our front line. Yeah, listen, I'm a bit calmer, Kate, to be honest. I think can't take too much of that into consideration at the moment. Brentford's going to be tough because Brentford at home, especially opening day, always a tough game. But we did go there a couple of years ago, didn't we? Under Ange first season, draw 2-2 there. So I think, I think we'll be okay. We may not win, but I would take a point opening game and move on from there. It depends who we have in that forward area. You're right. it really does depend who we have in those forward areas. Guys, nearly 100 of you in there. Please do me the honor. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. Steve says Rodri leaving City for Barcelona for 65.4 million. Probably saw yesterday Maresca tactics and thought, get me out of here. City looked cooked yesterday. City, I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights. But you know what? City are not going to challenge this year. No, I don't think. I don't think. Maybe they will. But new manager, you got to realise Pep was massive. Pep was Man City. You know, losing a manager like that. We saw what United were like when they lost Ferguson. Doesn't matter what players you got on the pitch. It really doesn't. The manager is your backbone of the team. And I think they're going to struggle. Listen, they're still finishing around the top 4 or 5, but I don't think they're going to be challenging Arsenal. And that's the concern, right? Arsenal literally could walk away with a title this season. It could be a painful season for us Spurs fans watching Arsenal. But we'll see, guys. We will see. Spurs in Africa said, here we go. Hope Vic has a good loan spell and they triggered a buy option. Big up to you, Spurs in Africa. And I agree 100%. I hope Vicario has an absolute blind over Juve and they buy him at the end of the season. I think they will. Listen, I think Vicario is a good keeper and I think they will want him afterwards. Let's see. The Stoic says, just call Vicario Boomerang. I have a feeling he will be coming back. Mate, I don't. I think he'd do well there. I think he'd do well there. He's suited to the Italian game. And he is a great shot stopper. I think Juve have got an absolute bargain in Vicario. He's just not suited to English football, I don't think. Brian Daigle says Romero and Vicario out. Two foreigners out. Spaces for two foreign players to come in. My hunch is a Brazilian and a Dutch player to come in next. Yeah. I mean, what? Any Brazilian or Dutch players you have in mind there, Brian? I mean, I'm struggling to think of any that we would want, but you know, yes, I think you could be right. I think you could be right there, Brian. Calvin said, just seen on Transfer News Live that Savino agreed to a 2032 contract, but we'll wait and see. All the very best, mate. Big up to you, Calvin. Thank you, as always, for all of your support. Always in my comments in the videos. Really do appreciate that, mate. I do try to comment on every single comment I get. I will reply to even the wank ones, even the ones that are horrible and rude, and I get enough of them. So yeah, it's all good fun. It is all good fun, but you get the usuals in there, you know, trolling you. But Calvin's definitely not one of them. Top man, and listen, I think he's going to sign over the next 24 hours. I really do. Or we're going to get here we go over the next 24 hours. Like I say, if we want to, he's going to need a new work permit. If we want to play him Saturday night, we need to get that sorted before Wednesday. If we sign him on Thursday, he's not going to sign, is he? He's not going to play for the Brentford game. But we will see. We will see. Kate saying hello to Brian Dale. Grant says option, not obligation. Yep, absolutely. But like I say, I think it's not like he's 40 or 50 million. I think for 50 million euros, I think Juve would take that up. Surely. It's not like he's a terrible keeper at all. Rabbit Man says Troy Parrott hasn't played for any minutes for his club for a while. He hasn't. Wasn't he going to West Ham? And I'm not sure whether that deal's fallen through. But what about a Troy Parrott? What about Troy Parrott? What about getting Parrott back at Tottenham? Crazy as it seems, I know, but he has done really well in Holland. Dutch league is a lot different, of course, but he's done well at international level as well. And Troy Parrott maybe wouldn't be a bad shout. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. Am I just getting desperate? Maybe I am. Futures Bright says I've not been impressed with Tottenham at all in this preseason. They are just minutes in the legs games. In the real shirt starts Saturday. I think we'll start slow, and once it clicks in, we'll fly. Hopefully, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I think we will have a slow start. I really do, which is why I take a point Saturday evening right now. I think it will be slow because we do look off it. And I just think we're a bit undercooked. A lot of our best players haven't really played any minutes. So it's a concern, right? It's a concern. You look at Van der Ven, hasn't played a single minute. I don't think he's played a single minute of pre-season at all. And then you've got Senesi, who is his understudy, effectively. They're battling out for that left side of centre-back. And he's literally come in and played his first minutes for Spurs at the weekend. So he's not really going to be too ready yet either. So it is a concern. It really is. But listen, we will see what happens. Kate says, nice, we will end up with the can back. Yeah, we will. We will. It is what it is. Listen, I think Vicario may do enough to get his move, but we will see. We will see. Rabbit Man says it's cold, windy, and rainy in Oz. It's pitch black outside, and it's still the afternoon. Oh, nasty, mate, nasty. Yeah, my mum lives in Oz, and she's been complaining a bit. She's actually said it's been really nice the last couple of days in Perth, but yeah, this time of year it can get a bit wild in Oz, can't it? Rabbit Man said the two wingers is Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis. Well, yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it? Grant says they'd be better than Town. They would. They would. Oh, I feel sorry for Town. Listen, in all fairness, we talk about Town, and I actually think he's going to do all right this season if he's given his chance. We'll see, because again, there are rumours that he could leave as well. So anything could happen with Tao. I think anything could happen in this window still, right? Because we just don't know. We don't know who's coming, who's going, and it wouldn't surprise me still players left that were like, "Oh shit, I didn't expect him to leave," and I think Tao might be one of them. Depending, of course, who we get in as wingers. But we will see. A lot of love for Brian coming in. Snipers, dreamers in. Let the positivity shine through. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely, mate. For me, apart from not having the strikers in, there is no need to be negative at the moment. We will have time for that. We're Spurs fans, and Tottenham ought never let us down in that sense. So we have time to be positive. Negative. Let's be positive for now. And see what happens. Claire's in, saying good morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Claire. I hope you're well. And Rabbit Man says 100% take Ollie Watkins. Absolutely. Me too. I take him. F. Sanks in said, what a relief. No more spaghetti arms in goal, shouting at the youngsters in the team. One of the worst goalkeepers at Spurs in recent times. It's weird, isn't it? Because he actually had a decent first season. I do agree with you, Sang. I didn't like the way he shouted at the youngsters, though, especially Bergvall when he first come in. Yeah, really not a good look from him, because he never did it at Romero. You know, he wouldn't dare shout at Romero. But listen, it is what it is. He's gone now, and we move on from him. Steve says Vicario, Spence, and Romero all gone since Friday. That's impressive from the club. Finally being ruthless. Now be ruthless and get the three forward players in by Thursday, please. This is what we got to do, mate. This is what we've been crying out for, isn't it? Tottenham to be ruthless, and we finally are being ruthless in the transfer market. Players are leaving. The deadwood, the bad eggs, whatever you want to call them. And I feel weird saying Romero's deadwood. He isn't. But players that we didn't need anymore, players that deserve we didn't want, they're all going. And I still expect 2, 3, 4 more still to leave. Like I say, I can't wait to see what this team looks like at the end of the window. I'm so fed up with this team over the last 2 years, finishing 17th twice. I'm excited. For once, I'm excited to see what this Tottenham team can give us next season. Jimmy saying big up to Brian. F Thanks in the Charity Shield is a pre-season game. It is, but it's a bit more, it is a little bit more serious, isn't it? I think is when it's not like they're at walking pace. F Thanks says revealing of his quality that we almost had to force Vicario out of the club. It is, yeah, it's strange. Nobody wanted him, did they? Nobody wanted him. Which, and especially at the price we were asking, which is really hardly anything. So yeah, listen, it is what it is. He's gone. He's gone. Kate says, nice. Why are Aston Villa selling Watkins? I don't know. I don't know. This is, I've got to be honest, I don't know. Maybe he is on his way down. Maybe he is on the wane, but I'd still take him. I think he's better than anything we have. But this is where we are, right? We're into the last 2.5 weeks of the window, and as fans, we're starting to panic. And yeah, I'll take him. Yeah, I'll take him. You know, it is what it is. We will see. I've got to stop saying it is what it is. I will do it. I will do it. Hotspur Flicks is in saying, morning all. Good morning to you. Flixie, I hope you're well. And then says Vicario now going. He is. He is. Brian said, good morning, everyone. Just relaxing on my day off, 4 a.m. here and wife awake. Big up to you, Brian. Oh, 4 a.m., man. I'd love it to be 4 a.m. here. I'd just get back into bed and just cuddle up. It would be lovely. But big up to you, Brian, and thank you so much for being in here, buddy. Really do appreciate the support. Rabbit Man says, "Can I smash the like once?" That'd be nice. Once, twice, three times. If you've got other channels, get on there and smash it again. It is all good. Brian saying hello to people. Let's get down in the comments as I get near. I hate it when it does that. Um, Grant says he's talking to Brian Daigle. Let's go through the chat. Big up to Brian. Big up to Brian. Tim's in. Tim Wukong. I think I got that right. Said, morning, De Zerbi seems to only be buying Premier League ready. So I guess that counts out Osherman, etc. That leaves Watkins, Rashford, Tony, Kane. Can't think of any more that raise our level. I think maybe an Osherman would come in. He's a bit different, isn't he? But listen, you're right. We seem to be only going for Prem proven. So this is why I think Watkins is somebody that could happen. Tony, possibly as well. Obviously, Kane's out of the question. I think Rashford is staying at United as well. Maybe we don't even buy a striker. Maybe we don't even buy a striker. There are a few young foreign strikers we're being linked to over the last couple of days. I will be doing a video on them later, so make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't know who we're going to bring in as that front man. It's going to be interesting. Grant says though, no power is not good enough. Fair play, fair play. I'm just chucking names out and see where we go with it. Kate agrees. Nige, no, Parrot. Hotspur Flicks and Parrot. No, thank you. Listen, it is what it is. George says trolls here, they'll be dealt with military precision. Nice, thank you very much, mate. The thing is, the trolls are all the same trolls. You get the same three that come into all the chats, and you see them a mile off. And it is what it is. You just laugh at them in the end. I think if you stoop to their level and start abusing back, they love it. They want more. It's just best off just like sticking a like up, giving it a heart. Bish bash bosh. They soon lose interest. Claire says injury still a concern. So many sick notes. It is a real concern, Claire. And listen, all these players that were injured that we all hope would have a pre-season and be ready to go, none of them are, right? Kudos. I thought he was supposed to be playing Saturday. Nothing. Kudos for me is a real concern because I know we've seen him in training, but why is he not getting any minutes? I know that the players are being wrapped in cotton wool a little bit, which is great because we don't want him to get injured again. But I am a little concerned that Kudos, no minutes at all since what, January? I don't see him starting the season, which is why we desperately need forward players. Sniper's Dream says, if you're not positive in August, are you even a Tottenham fan? Exactly. Listen, fans are fans, right? And you're always going to get fans that are ultra positive. Everything is great. We're going to win the league every single season. Big up Aussie Ange. But you're also going to get fans that no matter what we do, they're not going to be happy. There's always going to be an issue. And it is what it is. This is what fans are like. I think I'm very much in the middle. I'm very positive, but if it needs to be called out, I will call it out. But I'm just not calling it out yet because there's nothing to do yet. We will see Saturday evening after the game. Might get called out then. Grant says Tao has been good pre-season. And yeah, I think he'd be good off the bench, just not wanting to rely on him to start, to be honest. I'm with you there, Grant. I think Tao could be a real threat from the bench late on in games, last 20 minutes, bring him on with his energy. And he has got quality. He's just got to learn that final ball, that final movement, that final bit. He's just got to start getting right more than he gets wrong. And if he does that, I think we have a player on our hands. I really do. Listen, I'm not going to go OTT on him. He's not a starter for me, but I don't think he's as bad as what people make out. I really don't. And Adam says, I also think Saar needs to go. 100%. Saar 100% needs to go. And I think he will. There's a lot of clubs looking at him, actually. Everton, I hear looking at him. Newcastle, I heard, were looking at him as well. Other teams in the Premier League, Brentford have been looking at him. So I think, listen, Spurs want Aston Villa, I think. Spurs want 30 million. I think we'll probably get 30 million from towards the end of the window because I do think he will make a good Premier League player for somebody. He's just not for us. He's done his thing at Spurs, right? He's never quite made it. But on his day, Sarr is a very good player. He just doesn't have many of them for me. But he is legs. He has got an engine. And I think many teams will like that in a player. So I see him going. towards the end of the window. Let's see what happens there. Rabbit Man says, I follow FC Porto. They wanted Tell but couldn't agree alone. Wages as Porto don't pay big wages. So my guess is that Porto wanted Spurs to pay 75% of his wages. It's what I heard, is that Tell was keen to go. Yeah, I'm hearing that Tell is keen to go as well. He wants guaranteed first team football, which is I just think is crazy, right? Because if you're in a team that's successful, no player can be guaranteed first team football unless you're elite, unless you're a Haaland. I mean, even Haaland under Pep didn't play every game. But it's crazy. We will see what happens with Tau. But again, Tau, keep an eye on it. I think he could go before the end of the season. George says, people crying over the lack of forwards, like the manager and owners are oblivious to this. Can't buy players we don't want. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't buy players we don't want. And we don't want that, right? We don't want Spurs just to go out and get anybody, right? As much as I'm saying I would take Ollie Watkins, right? If Tottenham said, yeah, Ollie Watkins was available, but we don't think he improves the squad much, then fine. I'm okay with that. I think we sign needle movers or we don't sign anyone. That's my opinion. But let's see, guys. Let me know in the chat what you think. Sniper Stream said, I remember Billy Bremner and Kevin Keegan having a fight in the Charity Shield. Good times. Yeah, the Charity Shield always used to mean something, didn't it? Always used to. I'm not sure if it does anymore, but I do think it gives you an idea of what kind of season we're going to have. I don't think City are going to be quite as bad as they were yesterday. But like I say, I think it will take them a while to get into their stride. And by that time, I think Arsenal may be well clear. Brian saying, wide awake, not wife, awake. For what time? For autocorrect to mess up. Steve says, just read something funny. I hope Arsenal don't count the Community Shield as a European trophy as it was won in Wales. They may do. They may do. You never know. You never know, mate. Drula's in. Big up, Drula. Says, big up, Nigel in chat. Just passing through to smash a like as I'm at the doctor's. Big up to you, Drula. I hope all is well. Good luck at the doctor's. And Wembers is in saying, good morning, Mark, and all in the chat. Nigel. Hiya. I fear that City's result yesterday will make them even more reluctant to sell Savinho. Now that we want what we want, but last resort, cheaper striker could be Burnley's Fleming. Interesting. I was watching the highlights this morning before I went live of the West Ham game yesterday, and I saw Fleming, and he scored a couple of goals, didn't he? And he could have had a hat trick, could have had 3 or 4 easily. Doesn't look like a bad striker to me. One to keep an eye on. One to keep an eye on for sure. Got to say, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like he's about 35. I'm not sure of his age. I might be doing a massive disservice. He might only be 25. But for me, one to keep an eye on. Let's see how he does in the Championship this season. But I'm not against signing Championship players if they're banging in goals. And listen, keep an eye out for Fleming, guys. I think he's going to do well this season at Burnley. Stevens in said, morning, bud. Watkins is an Arsenal fan. He is. He is. I don't think that would stop him coming, though, but it might do. He also says, did you see Savinho liking Williams Barnett post? Savinho is absolutely desperate, isn't he, to join Spurs? And for that reason, I want him in. I want him in. He is doing whatever he can to join Spurs. It wouldn't surprise me over next week or so. We will see Savinho out pictured in a Spurs shirt, just hanging out with his mates, or just walking down Manchester, just in a full Tottenham kit with his boots on. He is that desperate to join us. But we will see what happens. Claire says, Vicario gone on loan this season to Juve. He has. Kate says, Nigel Carrick wants to keep him, but Board want him gone with his wages at 300 plus. Fair. I didn't realise that. Okay, we will see what happens with Rashford. He's another one, isn't it? Again, I wouldn't be against Rashford signing. I think he's better than anything we have. And if we sign Gakpo, Rashford, and Savinho, that we then have a 4 up front who can all play through the middle and all play on the wing. Well, Savinho can't play through the middle, but we have wingers that can play on the wing. We have wingers that can play as a number 9. We have options there suddenly. George says, Asar even has Saudi links according to Football London. He does, yeah. That's what I mean. There's a lot of interest in Sarr. I see Sarr going. I see us actually getting a fair bit of money for him yet. I know a lot of people have wrote him off and said, "I'll just sell him for 5 million." I think we get 30 million for him. I really do. I think there's a lot of interest in him. Kate says, "A nice Rashford." I mean, yeah, I get you. I absolutely get you. Adam says, "I don't think we'll get a backup at right back. I think Gray will be our back at right back." 100% agree. I've got to be honest, talking about Gray, why was he captain again at the weekend? What's going on here? You know, for me, there was plenty of other players that played that could have been captain. And yeah, weird one for me. Fair play to him, but does this mean he's going to be starting more than he does? I don't know. I don't think so, but we will see. Jimmy says our preseason organisation has been a complete shambles and is not fair on Roberto De Zerbi. It's not been the best preseason, has it, at all? It really hasn't. But listen, it is what it is. Guys, if you haven't, please do me a favour. Please hit that like button. Over 110 of you in now. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe as well. I am on my way to 2.3k. Let's see if we can get there today. I don't think we will, but let's see if we can, guys. Hit that subscribe button for me. Really would appreciate it. Rabbit Man says Porto are the Portuguese version of Dortmund. They develop young players and give them heaps of game time. Listen, I love Porto. Porto are my Portuguese team as well. The reason I just simply love the kit, just absolutely love the kit. Always loved the Porto kits over the years, and yeah, got a bit of a soft spot for Porto, I must admit. Jane says, "I never worry over things I have no control over. I do believe something will happen this week. Now get your asses in gear, Tottenham." Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. We've got no control over it as fans, have we? We just watch and we see what happens. But I believe we will get the players in. Whether we're all happy with the players or not is another question, but we will get them in. Samuel's in saying, "Would you take Marcus Rashford at Tottenham Hotspur?" Right now, 100% yes. 100%. I think, you know what, people talk about him and how poor he's been, his attitude at United. I think you watch him at Villa, you watch him at Barca, that's the kind of Rashford you get. And he can be hot and cold, he can be hit and miss. But I think if you get a player that's hitting, you know, and Rashford's hitting, I think he's a player you want on your side. So 100% I would take him right now. Yeah, 100%. The Prez is in, saying big up, Nige, and everyone in the chat. Big up to you, Prez. I hope you're well, mate. And Rabbit Man says Porto developed Diego Jota, Falco, Avenilson, Thiago Silva, Holt, Ricardo Carvalho, Deco. Yeah, they've had some wonderful players over the years, and these players are all recent players as well. You know, Deco was something else, wasn't he? Great player. Of course, he went to Chelsea, which ruined everything. But at Porto and at Barcelona, Deco was one of the best in the world. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Jane says no to Rashford for me, but he don't want Tottenham anyway. This is the thing, isn't it? He doesn't. He said before he doesn't want Tottenham. But for me, personally, I know that there are some fans out there who don't want Rashford because he didn't want to join Tottenham at that time. For me, you know, it is what it is. If he comes now, as long as he's banging in the goals, I don't care. I don't care, but we'll see. Samuel said West Ham United fans said they were going to run away with the championship title. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have a tough season this year. Rabbit Man says Zane Fleming is like 32. Okay, he's not going to be joining Spurs. He's not going to be. And then George just said 28. Where are we going here, guys? Somewhere in the middle. Maybe he's 30. I was going to say he did look quite old. I say quite old. It's not. I'm in my 50s, but um, listen, he looked decent yesterday. He looked decent. Stephen said, "I think Savinho slept at Spurs Lodge." Yeah, he's probably paying to sleep at the Spurs Lodge, and that's probably why he's not training with City because he's in Tottenham, just waiting for the go ahead, literally waiting for it. They've probably done everything. All the shirt thing and the interviews has been done like weeks ago. They're just waiting for the go ahead. The press says in full agreement for Fleming. He would join very much growing Dutch contingent. Yes, absolutely. Andrew says, I remember Newcastle's Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer getting sent off. Yeah, that was a scrap and a half, wasn't it? That was a good one. Proper punches thrown in that one. Futures Bright said, when Savinho gets the nod to join, I just hope he has a box of tissues handy. I think he may need them. And what are we talking about here, Future? We're talking about he's crying, of course, yeah, because he's so upset that not excited, but he's upset that he's joined the Spurs. Samuel says, would you sell Dominic Solanke? 100%. If someone would come in for him, 100% would sell him. Yes. Stephen says, morning, Nigel. Gray for skipper. It's weird, isn't it, that he's just been captain the whole pre-season? Really weird. Scott Colliver says yes on Dominic Solanke, I think. And the press says, but Fleming scored 2 goals, and if it's the metric he scored in the championship with Lancashire, shouldn't be the same as. I've taken both right now. Listen, let's see how they both do. It's going to be interesting to see. Middlesbrough. I'm going to be watching Middlesbrough closely this season with Lancashire, and I was so pleased for him when he scored the 2 goals. It is nice to see ex-Tottenham players doing well. Ex-young Tottenham players doing well, that is. Daniel Phil said Kudus is expected to be available against Charlton 26th of August. Yeah, big up, Daniel, mate. I thought he was going to be expected to be fit for Saturday's game, but listen, I'm concerned. But I see Charlton as a game where we can play a Maddison, we can play a Kudus, maybe give them some game time. As much as it'd be a tough game, it's not Premier League, is it? So that's when I would expect a few of these players to maybe start that Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is after that Brentford game. But let's see what happens out. Steve says, I'm confident Savino and Gakpo will be signed, but no striker unless one of our blind current 2 are sold. We'll keep an eye on Richarlison. I do think there's a chance he may leave. I really do, but we will see. Leslie says, Fleming scored 11 for Burnley last season in the Premier League. There you go. See, there you go. I didn't even realise that. Kate says, big up to the press. And Rabbit Man says, my bad, Zane just turned 28. Fair dues. Just turned 28. And I didn't even realise he was playing in the Premier League. I thought Burnley signed him this season. What do I know? What do I know? Stephen says, I don't see the hype in Gray. I think he's bang average. Doesn't look much better than Ty Hall at fullback. I'm kind of with you there. Kind of with you. Listen, Gray is Gray, right? We see what he does over the next couple of years. Steve says, Nige, do you think VDV will struggle to keep his place with Senesi and Van Heck looking good, which is a great thing to have competition? Personally, I don't. I do think VDV will be back in. It's going to be interesting to see how we play with Udogie being injured, and we just don't know when he's coming back, right? It's going to be interesting to see how Tottenham play next season. Will VDV be pushed to left back now and again? Because I see Senesi getting a lot of minutes. Senesi is top class defender, like really, really good on the board. Wasn't it nice to see at the weekend both Senesi and Van Heck so comfortable in possession? You know, we don't see any Dragushin now. We don't see any Danzo. You know, not the greatest on the ball. We see like culture when they got the ball. It's lovely to watch. It really is, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next season. Both of them. I think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of minutes Van der Ven gets. I see him starting. Of course I do. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's pushed over to left back now and again with only one fit right left back at the moment in Robertson. George says, if you want your oven is sparkling, just in time for the new season, Cornage discount if you're a Spurs fan. I don't know about discount, mate, but yeah. I mean, if you live in my area, of course. Otherwise, is a big fat no. Rabbit Man says rather Richie than Dom, 100%, 100%. Vinny Bros in, big up, mate. Says feels like our pre-season will only start on Saturday as barely any of our first team have gotten proper minutes. This is my biggest concern, Vinny, and big up to you, mate, is that the first team haven't had proper minutes. And more than that, they've not played together. We haven't really seen Tonali and Fernandez in that midfield together. We haven't seen Tonali, Fernandez, and Maddison in that midfield together. We haven't really seen, we haven't seen Van der Ven and Van Heck together. We need to see these players together, and we just haven't. So I do think we're going to start slowly. It doesn't mean I think we're going to lose every game. I just don't think we're going to take a while to click. But once we do, I think we could be frightening this season. I really do. I'm confident. Got to be confident, guys. We will have, as I said, plenty of time to be negative in the season. I am sure. Kate says, I want both Solanke gone and Richie. 100%. I agree with you there. Dave's in. Big up David says, seeing players live is always best. Watching Tarlani on Saturday excited me as I knew he was well thought of, but he is a class act and will be our midfield general and push standards forward. 100%. It's best post in the morning. Big up to you, David. Listen, I've heard people call Tonali a slightly better version of Gallagher. Absolute rubbish. Tonali is quality, absolute quality. And we will see it this season. I 100% agree with you, David. I think Tonali raises the level 100% in that midfield, as does Fernandez when he gets in there. So I'm so excited to see this midfield. Adam says VDV could play left back. Absolutely. Stephen says 8.5 price tag for Big Vic seems way too cheap. I think with these players, and I think that you can tell, Stephen, with the players that we are getting rid of cheap, that maybe they're the players we just want out, because Spurs have not been like that with other players, right? We didn't let Vuskovic go cheap. We rejected a couple of offers before we accepted. Same with Bergvall. We've rejected 2 or 3 offers, but if we get the offer we want, we will accept it. These other players that wanted out, clearly wanted out, we're just like, just go. Doesn't matter what we get. As long as we get something, we're happy. And I think that's with Romero, that's with Spence, and that's with Vicario. You're also looking at, we're selling them to foreign clubs, right? And foreign clubs don't have the kind of money that the Premier League has. So it is what it is. It is what it is. The press says Zane Fleming outscores the Spurs forwards last season, playing for Burnley. Need we say more? No, say no more, mate. Say no more. Leslie's in. Big up to you, Leslie. I'm going to say a few hellos and then I'm going to pass you on to the 2 marks. Richarlison scored 11, same as Fleming. Fair, he did. David said, being realistic now, I feel we will finish the window with Savio, Gakpo, and Jackson. Savio and Gakpo. Savio and Gakpo. Yes. Jackson, I hope not, but we will see. I am just going to run through the chat, see if I've seen anyone that I've missed. William Webster, big up to you, William. I hope you're well. Guys, I am going to leave it there and pass you over to the 2 marks. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please stay, because I'm going to pass you over to the 2 marks and then say Pure Coys Raid. Have a great day. Smash a like if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, come on, you Spurs.